Good morning, good day, and good evening, everyone. My name is Sam. I am your latest introduction to all things new to AFC Bournemouth, and I am coming to you from the evening of the 10th of July, coming fresh off the back of some hot and somewhat disappointing AFC Bournemouth news. I'm coming off to you off the back of scorching 27 degrees as I'm recording this from a 32 degree weather Friday day currently, and so apologies if I'm looking a bit sweltered. Just done a day of work, and from my day of work I have had, and many of us Cherries fans have had, some rather surprising yet disappointing news. And no, it's not about Rodriguez, which we'll come on to later. It's about our new kit for 26-27 season, and if a lot of Cherries fans after the news of that Vitality, our local Bournemouth business, would be the front of kit sponsor, a lot of Cherries fans would be rather enthusiastic and happy that they would be sponsoring our kit. After all, they are the name of our stadium, although, of course, many of Cherries fans still call it Dean Court. But of course it's called Vitality. However, of course, many fans would remember the 2020 season of the kits, the famous Cherries kits, where we had Vitality on the front of our kit for about 8 or 9 games, of which which looked like this. White lettering, centre stage, Umbro kit, Vitality. Absolutely lovely, fantastic. Perfect kit. It suits it very well. It contrasts everything just nicely. White against a red and black majority kit. Looked absolutely fantastic, absolutely wonderful, some would say. And however, 8 o'clock this morning, on Friday the 10th of July, the new kit came around. The new home kit came around for Bournemouth for the new season. Our first ever season in Europe after 127 years. And since 2008, 17 years ago, it's lackluster. Lackluster's putting it, I think, rather gently. Well, I'll show you it for yourself and you can be the judge. However, most Bournemouth fans would agree, and considering a lot of the comments and opinions of fellow Cherries fans, from what I've seen, they're best not pleased. So, as I said, 8 o'clock this morning, AFC Bournemouth tweeted out the new kits, with, of course, it being something like this, from what you're looking at. Alex Scott, Ryan Christie, Junior Krupi, you got James Hill on the right there, coming out with a new kit. And yeah, you got the Hummel, of course, branding, the AFC Bournemouth badge, Mr. Q, which, of course, well, personally I don't mind. However, the blue contrast to the red and black, but it's on the sleeve. We can deal with that. However, the Vitality, big and bold, right in the middle. A vast contrast to This one here, where Vitality's massive in the middle compared to the tinier writing of Vitality in the middle of the shirt. However, what stands out is the pink and white, which a lot of people and what should I say, designer enthusiasts say it contradicts the colour scheme of our red and black home kit, because of course what's pink rather than a watered down more white red, and then you've got white, which is the complete different contrast of end of the spectrum compared to black. So of course they highlight massively, and then let alone the completely black circular around the design of the Vitality logo in the middle, completely throwing off the rest of the kit with the straight black and red lines in the middle. So when this launched, of course, personally myself, I looked at it and I thought, you know what, it's not that bad. Personally, I was expecting worse. However, the more you look at it, shockingly, the worse it gets. And this has been upsetting a lot of AFC Bournemouth fans, to say the least. You know, when you compare it to the couple of handful of games we played with Vitality during the 2020 season, to where it's sleek, it blends well with the kit, it looks absolutely brilliant. You got Lloyd Kelly there, you know, absolutely amazing. And to everyone's surprise as well, grant it's not that much, but £5 increase on a shirt, to where last season it was £65 per home shirt. Now, bearing in mind, this is without the lettering on the back. Excuse me, I banged my desk. It's without the lettering on the back, and of course, per letter you are charged per letter. So, £70 per shirt, and the reception of this has been somewhat disappointing. 127 years on, first time in Europe. We was expecting something, of course, not like the 2020 COVID season. However, just something like this. And you can see Hyan, Evan Nilsson wearing it loudly and proudly in the training complex, which, you know, if I take the bottom bit off, you know, looks brilliant. However, when you put it into full screen, full scene, yeah, it's yeah, just put into perspective. But you know, it's disappointing when you compare it to sort of like, you know, like the somewhat other designs of which has been shown, you know, just from people randomly coming up with it. You know, Cobra Hero on it, petition for less please. You know, nice gold lettering here, Vitality. I know, sat here thinking this kit looks class as fuck. BJ on it. Oh, no, I'll get to that later. Vitality, big, bold, white lettering. You know, classy, white, very nice. Honestly, this and sponsor-led Vitality pink away kit surely would have appeased them. Took 5 seconds to make this, you know, which this is class. Mr. Q on the right hand side there. I mean, of course, you know, even with the blue, I think this would still look very nice. But even as something as simple as changing the circular black here, which decimates, should I say, the red stripes here, do something as simple as just a little gold outline with a tiny bit of black. Makes it more sleek, makes it more fitting. And to be honest, I think a lot more people, don't get me wrong, there'll still be some that would find this absolutely horrid. However, I think this design is a lot more suitable than the solid, thick outline of this. I mean, you compare the two, and I mean, you tell me. I mean, I'm coming off of opinion. This is complete opinion. You know, I mean, of course, I'm coming off of a lot of people who have commented, you know, on X, Reddit, Facebook, you know, anything that you say, and they are just angry, upset, disappointed, you name it. That's what they are. I can't blame. I really can't blame them. Can you? It's like, I look at this, I'm like, I'm fine with this. This is absolutely fine. And I look at this, I'm like, I have to bite my tongue. Because I don't know. I really don't know. It's I want to praise it. I really do. But the stonking great big white and pink logo right in the middle. Yeah, it just does not fit at all. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. Like, yeah. £70. No, that's £70. Jesus. Without lettering. Oof. Got this one here as well. Vitality without the gold and black outline. That looks better. Vitality here in the pink and white. Brilliant. And then that, you know, we'll come on to this later. I mean, looking at some of the comments, surely this is an easy fix. Of all, appease both sponsor fans alike. Pink edging to the Vitality text blend in quite well. To be fair, it does. You know, the pink outline contrasting to the red and black, it looks quite well. You know, it looks a lot better than a solid pink circle. I guess it's far too late to do anything about it. This would increase sales 100%, and this is the issue. I know that Vitality, the company, and it's a shame because of course it's a local brand company. You know, it's Bournemouth based company, health insurance, fantastic. You know, absolutely brilliant compared to PG88. You know, the betting company. You know, I mean, you go to any sort of fan base and you say to them, hey, do you want BJ on the front of your shirt? Oh, I can guarantee you that they'll say no. And yet we've had it for 2 years. So, of course, when the news came out that we'll have Vitality as our front of shirt sponsor, we was ludicrously happy. We was ecstatic. Each and every Cherries fan, we bit your hand off at that opportunity, because of the fact, we thought it would be like the original shirt from 2020. We thought it would be like this. However, unfortunately, Vitality changed their scripture to where if you want to show their sponsor, you have to have, a white lettering with pink outline, or pink lettering with a white outline. And I completely agree with this comment. And I go even further to say that, let me just get up here a minute. This is just one of my comments. Whatever money that AFC Bournemouth got from the Vitality sponsorship, they lost 10 times the amount of shirt sales. And I'm upset and I'm sad that this is going to be true. Because, after all, this is our first time in Europe. People are excited, people are happy, people are ecstatic. Little old Bournemouth in the Europa League. Minus 17 years ago. 2008, 2009 series. Close to administration, nearly wiped off the face of the earth from the Football League, never to be a football club again. I was 12, minus 17 season, I was 12. So, of course, people will want to have the shirt to wear, possibly, touch wood, hopefully we're not, but possibly it's our only time in Europe. And yeah. To say Bournemouth fans are upset, angry, disappointed is probably an understatement. If I go to this post on the AFC Bournemouth website and it says together, and I scroll through, like the kit, sponsor ruins it, £70 saved, I guess. Together you will love this kit, a little meme. We absolutely hate the kit, please stop posting it. Of course, this was only posted, 4 o'clock, so it was, 6 hours ago. So this is after a 12-hour period of when it was originally posted. This needs to stop, kit is vile. And it isn't even April Fool's. Top tier rage bait, together in hating the kit. Vitality FC sponsored by AFC Bournemouth. Admin don't care. Stop posting. I'm not going to repeat it. No, we're not. We'll back you in it. Speak for yourself. Nah. If I go on to a little post I put onto Facebook. Sell out really. Round about on the shirt, £70, terrible looking. Sponsor looks hideous. I'll be buying it without the sponsor. However, of course, we cannot buy it without the sponsor because the sponsor is not a betting company. And with the new rules coming in the Premier League season this season, you cannot have a betting company on the front of your shirt. And with some of the rules of the betting company having the sponsor on the front of your shirt, you can choose to have the kit without the sponsor. But now you can't. So if you want to buy the kit, you have to buy the sponsor with it. So, yeah, this is not good. Please can we get rid of the hideous pink blob. Sponsor of a terrible clash. One of the worst kits ever produced. Don't like it. Large pink blob. I mean, I'm just scrolling through and you can see, I mean, that looks somewhat better, but of course you can't have it when the pink. Here's a little example. That looks brilliant. It's bloody horrible. I don't like it at all. Don't like it. Awful. Pink, no. Gotta catch them all. Little, Is this a joke? Some people are saying it's April Fool's, not good. Some are saying it's £70 save. And, of course, if I scroll up, 236 comments. It's just endless. To where people are not happy with the kit honking. And bearing in mind, of course, this is our home kit and the goalkeeper's kit. Now, I grant, goalkeeper's kit doesn't look too bad. But of course, that's because it doesn't have the red and the black. With the red and the black, it just, yeah, it's a sore thumb. Great kit, sponsorship logo dreadful, which I agree. It is a great kit, but the logo just decimates it. It looks cheap and nasty. Oh dear, logo ruins it. Awfully lucky. Much nicer footy shirt coming soon. Don't like it. Absolutely dreadful. Yeah. And a very popular Cherries channel back on the net has had their view on the shirt, and it's in the same boat to where they emphasize the fact that the color contrast is so vivid, it takes away from it. Result design many feel simply does not work. Color theory perspective, pink is effectively the highest shade of red, meaning two colors sit extremely close together on the spectrum. When colors share a similar hue but differ in brightness and saturation, they can create what's known as vibrational conflict. Excuse me. And the eye struggles to distinguish between them comfortably, which I'll let you decide on that. The reaction across social media has reflected discomfort. Forums, X, Instagram have quickly filled with criticisms, jokes and memes, with many supporters describing it as one of the club's least appealing home shirts in recent memory. And I can't blame them. The kit itself is brilliant, but the logo, it just ruins it all. It really does ruin it all. And of course, some of you may be thinking, of course, why does it matter? It's just a home shirt. However, with our first ever time being in Europe and many more countries and teams watching us, this is going to be the first thing that they see. Not how we play, but what we wear. And supporters want to wear the kit in support and in celebration of this new feat. And many, if not all, 90%, probably more, 95, 96, 99 possibly % of Cherries fans will look at this kit and be like, no, I'm going to wear a kit that looks good, that can still support our team. Because they don't want to buy a kit. They don't want to spend £70 especially in this day and age, £70 on a kit to wear, it does not look good. It just doesn't. The more you look at it, the worse it gets. Like, again, you take the top bit out and it looks fantastic, but you put the top back in, and yeah. Simple lettering would have been suffice, and I think whatever deal we did with Vitality to where we put the pink circle in, because that's all it is. It's the pink circle. It's not the lettering. It's the pink circle, and that's it. If Vitality are that stubborn about the pink circle, they've lost so much more in shirt sales than in gaining with the sponsorship deal. And, you know, if the fans want to wear the shirt, it's a historic time for the fans. The players want to wear the shirt. The players are playing in Europe for the first time. Eyes everywhere looking at them. Little old Bournemouth playing in Europe for the first time could potentially win it. I'll probably jinxed it now, but potentially win it. And they're playing with this. And you get comments, sarcastic comments, hopefully, and make our passing quicker, transitions up the pitch more rapid, as no player will want to be seen on camera wearing this. It just sums it up. It's modern day Hollywood, to where people aren't going to the cinemas because they're not happy with what Hollywood is putting out. So they're telling you, hey, we're not happy about this, change it. So AFC Bournemouth fans are expressing their opinion and their thoughts and their feelings. And granted, feelings are personal, feelings can be wrong. However, when feelings are in as bulk as, well, there's sums it up really, doesn't it? Are as unanimous as all of this. To where people are deliberately changing it, saying they've made a mistake, wishing they had BJ 88. Not the betting company. People don't care about the betting company. Just if you have a football fan base, and then the football fan base are saying we'd rather have BJ on the front of our kit than this, you have a problem. You have a real problem. It's just disappointing. That's all it is. Just disappointing. Anyway, on to some more positive news, somewhat. Transfers. Now, we've got Alvaro Rodriguez. That has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romero, by Romano himself. Sorry, excuse me. 25 million euros striker from Elche. However, this was Thursday of last week on the 2nd of July. We're now the 10th, going on to the 11th, depending on when you see it, depending on when you watch this. And still no news. He had his medical on Monday, from what I could tell, Monday, Tuesday, depending on, when he actually had his medical. However, of course, Mark McMahon, Alvaro Rodriguez is not a replacement for Juku Krupi. He's confirmed on the July the 2nd of Ben Jacobs, same again, and still no news, which I think to many Bournemouth fans is quite concerning, because Hyan in himself, I remember Hyan came on a Monday, had his medical, and I think it was by the Thursday, it was either Wednesday or the Thursday, he was confirmed. And considering this has been over a week now, it's been over 8 days since of course he's come in, and of course he had his medical, of course, either on Monday or Tuesday, so either 3 or 4 days since his medical, and we still have no word is quite a concern. Hopefully all is well. There's been a couple of rumours to where he's gone back to Spain. But depending on whether those are true or not, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. However, on the other hand, centre backs, we've been linked with Thiago Gabriel, Portuguese centre back, 20 million, defender, 21 years old, and I don't know what it is at the minute, but we've been linked with a lot of Portuguese players, because we've been linked with Antonio Silva as well, 22-year-old from AC Milan. And both seem quite decent. Both seem like the players to replace Senesi. Future prospects of the club. However, no immediate movement or no immediate news from those forefronts of transfers. So it's been a somewhat mixed, mostly negative week for AFC Bournemouth, to the point where we've wanted to see our new shirt, home shirt. Of course, we got our away shirt and our third kit. However, if it's going to be like our 25-26 season with the black and blue stripes and the same pink logo, that's probably not going to look that much better. It'll probably look a tiny bit better, but probably not that much. And then third kit's always going to be very up in arms to what it's going to be. But yeah, quite disappointing week per se. But yes, no, apologies, that is going to be our first video on AFC Bournemouth. Plenty of more videos to come in these coming weeks of transfer news and AFC Bournemouth news. Of course, the stadium redevelopment is coming on thick and fast. Development's going well because of the absolutely amazing weather that we're having down here in the south coast. Coming on nicely. Going to have the corners filled. We've been approved for the European games, so no absolute worries for next season. So that is absolutely fantastic. But yes, going to be interesting to see how that develops. And of course, we've got next year to where the north-south stands are going to be developed even more, to where we have not the least most capacity, but we're going to be higher than Brentford, which is going to be a positive. At least we'll win there against the Buzzy Bees. So yes, but yes, no. Thank you so much for watching. Plenty more to come on AFC Bournemouth news. Thank you so much. I do apologise that it's a quite redundant and depressing first video, but I hope it's going to get more and better as we go on. So thank you all so much for watching, and up the cherries. Peace.